Hello, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, whenever or wherever you're watching. Let's get into 90 Day Fiance Love in Paradise Season 2, Episode 7. Actually, I think this light is a little too bright. There we go. That's much better. How is everybody doing today while I get my imagery lined up? Fomin Kilati says, hey y'all. And Tony Min says, I'm here, had some Bluetooth issues. No problem. Well, it's thunderstorming in this area, so we might have some connectivity issues. Hopefully everything will go all right. Don't think you guys can hear the thunder through this mic, so I think everything should be okay. Okay, let me share my screen and get into this. All right, there we go. So, yeah, I'm gonna leave it like that. So, episode 7 is titled "The Bottom Line," which is very funny when you think about it, considering discussions that have been had on this program about bottoms and tops, or as we learned, activos and pasivos. So let's start off with Ariana and Sherlon. Sherlon and his mother are actually going to dinner to meet with Ariana and her mother, and also so that Sherlon's mother can meet the baby for the first time. This setting is really beautiful. It's like this tropical restaurant with they have, I think there's probably LED lights, but they give that feeling of the tiki torches. But I really loved how it was decorated, and I'm also feeling Sherlon's mother in these bell bottoms because like she is a whole moment, and I appreciate her for it. And the decoration on the table, like it's funny because it's literally just a palm frond, but it looks pretty. Although once you sit down, I'm sure the palm frond sticking you in the stomach is not going to be comfortable, but it looks pretty. So he and his mother get there, and of course Ariana and her mother get there, and we learn that their mothers' names are Joan and Karen. Sherlon's mother is Joan, and Ariana's mother is Karen. Although she does not act like a Karen, she's actually kind of cool acting considering, especially since we learned that she had been retired and she went back to work to make money to take care of her daughter and her daughter's baby. Tommy says, Ariana cries at the drop of a hat, and I hope you address Sherlon's quote of the show, I laughed out loud. I'm wondering if it's the one about 10th grade, because that's the one I'm thinking of. We do learn that Sherlon's parents divorced at when he was 10 years old, and his mother went to go stay in the United States, and his father had custody of him. We also learned that he called himself being in love. I say call himself because he said he loved this girl so much and she cheated on him. But it was 10th grade. I mean, you might feel like you were in love, but it was 10th grade. His mother does say that it's her wish to see Sherlon settle down, get married, and take care of his son. Because, mind you, Sherlon is a 36-year-old man. And his mother even asks him, when do you plan to settle down? When you're 50? And he has no answer for this. He just says again that he has emotional baggage and that he needs to go to counseling because his heart was broken in 10th grade. This man is 36 years old. So 10th grade would have been a firm 20 years ago. Like, sorry about that. I'm just thinking he needs to take a real tall glass to get the fuck over it juice. Because, like, dude. Actually, as Ariana said, what did she say? Bro, you're a 36-year-old man. That's what Ariana said in her talking head. Tony Man said, that's the one. Faux Mickey Lighty says, I don't know how they think Sherlon can do anything involving parenting when they live in different countries. Yeah, I think Ariana still holds out hope that why is everything, all my notifications, like everyone that knows me knows I'm live streaming right now. So this is how people don't respect what you do. They don't respect what I do. Anyways, I was saying that, let me put my phone on silent and then put this one on silent too. Don't tell me my fingerprint doesn't match. There it goes. Sorry about that. There. Where did I leave off? I was talking about Sherlon and Ariana. She has this dream that Sherlon is going to leave Jamaica and come live in Illinois and work a probably menial job and just be with her. And it's like, that's a tall order when a person literally lives in paradise. He literally lives in paradise. He works at a resort. He pretty much gets paid to vacation and to help other people vacation. Like, if it was me, I wouldn't come to Illinois either. But what Sherlon should have done was wrapped up his willy so that he wouldn't have this issue. Tony says, that man has more stories than the Empire State Building. What else do I have? Karen does ask how Sherlon feels about the baby. And Sherlon says that, I think I wrote down his exact quote, his love has only grown stronger for his son. So that's a good thing for him to say. I say because remember, love is an action. It's not just what people say. It's how they treat you. It's what they do. Miss Joan asks Ariana how her relationship is with Sherlon, and that's what starts the waterworks. And Ariana starts crying because Sherlon apparently told her that he loved her one time when they first met, and she believed that. And so, she's hurt because she believed this dude just because he said he loved her, which is unfortunate. She also says that when Sherlon gets upset with her, he doesn't speak to her for days. And Sherlon says he doesn't want to hear any bad news. But, like, that's kind of life as an adult. Not everything is going to be positive news. Sometimes things are going to be negative. But, again, this is a man who lives in vacation land. And I'm not just saying vacation land as though all of Jamaica is vacation land. I'm talking about him specifically working in resorts, working at swingers club, hit the particular area that he stays in Jamaica's vacation area. He's not staying in like the more corporate area. He's not staying in the more manufacturing area. He's staying in vacation land. So that's I think that informs his mentality. Fomiki Lighty says he loved the coochie. Yes, he did. And we did see in the advertisement for the next episode that he also loves her, quote, fat ass. Tonyman says, then he made the tired excuse that he had a headache. Yeah, saying that talking about real things gives him a headache. Like, that's some stuff, that's what little children do when they say, when things get stressed out, and children will say, I'll have a tummy ache. Yeah, it's giving that. He's very underdeveloped for a man approaching middle age. I think that's all I had for their story. But yeah, it's just they're both immature, but I feel like Sherlon's even more mature than Ariana. Like, Ariana might be more emotionally immature, but Sherlon is both emotionally and it appears to be intellectually immature. I don't know. Good luck to them. I am glad. Well, before I move on, I am glad that his mother was more neutral. She didn't automatically back up her son just because he's her son. She actually corrected him and told him what her wish was and told him the things that he's doing wrong. And that was good to see. Chris says, "Hey, Shasha, my notification didn't work. Thanks, YouTube." Yeah, it is. YouTube is like that. That's why I have that bumper early. But I noticed that some live streamers, they'll play that bumper for like 6 minutes before they start their actual live stream because the notifications are that whack. But I didn't think anyone would wait around for me for 6 minutes. I don't think I'm that interesting yet. Not yet. I'll get better at this. I promise. I'm working hard to get better at this. And Chris says hello to the chat. And Chris, we just finished talking about Sherlon and Ariana. If there's anything you want to say, let me know in the chat, and I'll still address it. But I'm going on to. Wait, Tony Man says Sherlon was on the proverbial hot seat that whole time. Yeah, he said he felt it was 3 against 1 because he felt his mother didn't back him up. Which, I mean, she's right to be honest with her son. Fo Mickey Lati says they're arguing in circles. Yeah, they are. They're just it's the same thing over and over again. Chris says, you're doing great. Thank you. I'm glad to hear that. Okay, that was when the still of when he was talking about his 10th grade trauma. Yeah. See the look on his mother's face? That was are you going to wait till you're 50 to settle down? Because again, he's 36. And he should start using moisturizer and lotion because he looks a firm 50. Moisturize. You're literally like not technically, but I'm sure there are enough coconuts for you to find the coconut oil and the cocoa butter and the shea butter and anything else. Nivea. All these things are great things to moisturize with. Y'all literally saw me put both of these phones on silent. I literally did it and I still got a notification. I think Sherlon was trying to say that he doesn't want to be with her, but doesn't know how to express himself. Yeah, he should just, as a man, he should just say, listen, I don't love you like that. We had a thing that happened, but I don't love you, but I still love my son, instead of trying to string it along like this. And I don't even see how she feels that he loves her. She's done nothing to show her that he loves her. She's just grasping at straws. All right, who we got next? Oh, this piece of work here, Amber and Daniel. Poor Daniel. I feel like Daniel and Guillermo are in the same predicament with these luscious that they have decided to marry. But I don't think they knew. They had no idea. They didn't grow up. They didn't grow up with these women, so they didn't know the signs of white girl wasted. That's what I'm going to call them. Amber's nickname is White Girl Wasted, and what's the other one? Kara's nickname is Gone Girl because she gives me chills down my spine. Her eyes are cold and dead, and I fear for Guillermo's safety. But on to what Amber and Daniel are going through. Amber's in the kitchen drinking with her buddy, wearing matching. Let's take this in. I'm going to give y'all a moment to take this in. Her and her gay bestie have on the matching robes, not her and her husband. And she's another one in her 30s and doesn't have a proper wine glass. They literally sell wine glasses at the dollar store. You can get wine glasses at Target. Why are we drinking out of plastic tumblers? Classless. Okay. I read that one. And let me see here. Tony Man says, it's the Motorola. Try face down and turn the volume down. Just remember to turn it back up later. Well, I can't turn it face down because my notes are on it. Amber is a mess. Yeah, I can remember specifically when I got my first set of wine glasses. I was about 22. I think I was 22 years old, and they were like a frosted blue. I thought I was so proud of myself. I got these frosted blue stemless wine glasses. It was a 4-pack, and I'm quite sure I paid under $10 for them. So there's no reason for a woman to be in her 30s drinking wine out of plastic tumblers. This is college stuff. Like, you do that in college because you don't have a choice, but you're a grown-ass woman. I don't know why this bothers me so much. It shouldn't. It doesn't affect me in any way. Tony Man says she is from Florida. Well, I don't want to blame the whole peninsula for that, but Chris says she's in love with her bestie out here doing a whole rebound marriage. Yeah. I think if her bestie was not gay, she would try to marry him. She just doesn't have the option to marry him. Meanwhile, Daniel's in the room listening to this, feeling kind of sad because he says that he wished that she would be in the room cuddling with him rather than drinking in the kitchen. And he's getting more upset because he knows that she doesn't know when to stop drinking. She's going to drink and drink and drink until, like, she's, sloppy drunk. And while Daniel's in the room, we hear her and her bestie talking about how they're going to play a game called Marching Cats, where they started throwing cat treats on the ground, and then she was trying to do like headstands or handstands. I don't know what the hell she was trying to do. It was weird. But he calls his brother because he feels really, really. It almost looks like he's calling himself because his or is this the? No, I can't tell if that's him or his brother. They look alike. But they talk a little bit about what he's going through, and his brother encourages him to go in the kitchen and voice his concern, which was kind of not the best idea, only because it's hard to rationalize with a drunk person. And, him being only 25 years old, he might not know this yet. So he goes in there and he tells her that she's drunk as F with her friend, and of course, she screams on this dude. She screams on him, and then she cries at the same time and claims that no one told her that it was going to be like this, that she would have to take care of the bills and work and drive and be the teacher. And I forgot what else she said. But literally everyone told you, Amber. Everyone told you. There's no reason for you to say no, you didn't know. You knew. And not only did you know, you had to sign paperwork that said that you would be responsible for him for 10 years minimum. You also had to sign paperwork that said when he would get his green card, that said that he would not be able to work for so many months. So everything, not only did everyone tell you, you also had to sign legal documents that also told you. So you're just, I don't know what to say about you other than that. You're just full of it. I literally wrote in my notes, girl, please. That's what I wrote. Chris says she needs the plastic. She probably breaks ones when she gets. Oh, that's a good point. That is a good point. She probably breaks the. But yeah, you could still, again, Dollar Tree. You can get some plastic wine tumblers or wine glasses, not tumblers. You can get. They probably have some really cute ones with like little sparkles in them and stuff. I know. I'm in Florida too. Dollar Tree is the ones in, or at least in Central Florida, the Dollar Trees are. You can get some really, really cute stuff there. I think I got this at the Dollar Tree. Or it might have been Walgreens. Anyways, I didn't even explain my background. I didn't feel like setting up my camera twice today because I'm doing another live stream podcast with Hood Podcast. So I didn't want to set my lights and everything up in two different places. I just want to set it up one time, and that way I can sit back down when it's time to do Hood Podcast. By the way, tune in at 9:00 on Hood Podcast channel. We'll be talking about a lot of new trailers and Comic-Con stuff tonight. So that's why I'm in this background. Let me see. Tony Man says he could go out there and cuddle with her, be the dom man. This is true. He could have just walked up and just started hugging and kissing on her neck. What's she gonna do? She's either gonna accept it or reject it. But at least you tried. Tony Man 100 says screamed on him and did the Jerry Morey clap after every word. Mm-hmm. Foamy Light says she said something about being a mother, which is weird. Yeah, I think she was trying to sun him, like trying to say that she feels like a mother to him. But again, You chose to marry a 25-year-old who could not work, who you knew would not be able to work in this country for some time. So that's the choice you made. If it was going to bother you that much or make you feel matronly, then you should have made a different choice. I mean, what are we going to say? Even though so far, Daniel has presented himself as a pretty decent person. Like he hasn't been, well, from I'm only going based on what the show has shown us. The show has not shown Daniel being abusive to you or mean to you in any way. The most that we saw was he was a little bit lazy about getting his side of the paperwork done. But again, that could be just down to his youth, because I remember being that age and procrastinating. Am I done with them? No, no, no. There was a couple other things. We learned some more about Daniel. He went and joined a baseball team. I'm guessing it's baseball, not softball. I couldn't see the size of the ball, but it made him very happy because the screenshot is showing, it says that it was his passion and his dreams. He was on his way to going pro in baseball in Venezuela, but unfortunately he had an incident where he was on motorcycles with, he said, negatively influential people. I think that's the way he described it. And he got in trouble and was shot twice by the cops, once in his shoulder and once in his leg. And so that kind of ended his professional career, but he's very happy to be able to play baseball again here, and also to meet some other men that enjoy baseball and are also have immigrated from Latin America. I'm not sure whether they're also Venezuelan, but they also come from Latin America and they can relate to him on several levels, because I'm not sure it was one of them or both of them that said that they had also been married to American women, or one, I think one is divorced from American women, and I think one is still currently married to American woman, but I could be mistaken. But either way, he voices his frustrations to them, and they're very supportive, and they also tell him, this is what here's how you have to handle it. This is what you have to look forward to. And then they also give him some words of advice about American women. So it's good that he has people that he can relate to. I feel better about that than like Guillermo still doesn't even have like one buddy. Like the two most isolated have been Guillermo and Kobe. So isolated from anyone from their country, and Kobe just now finally got temperature that came to visit him for a couple of days, and you could see the relief on his face. So I'm sure Guillermo will also experience that. And then we see her racism peeking out next week. In the trailer for next week's episode, she goes with Daniel to a Venezuelan barbecue, and she acts all funky about the food, like Latino food is not fire. Like, are you serious? Are you serious? You live in Florida. We have hella Brazilian barbecue places, especially the steak places, the Brazilian steak places. Are you kidding me? We got hella Cubans here, and Cubano food is fire. Like, don't act like, I don't know what part of, well, she said she's in Seminole, Florida. I don't know. I'm not super familiar with Seminole, Florida, but definitely in the Central Florida area, if you've not had Latino food, it means you are actively avoiding it, and it's giving racist. Is it wrong to judge someone on their food taste and call them racist? I don't know, but that's what she's giving me. Like, I don't know how you could live. How can you live in America and not have different food? That's like I mean, America has a lot of flaws, but one of our best qualities is access to food from everywhere. Like, you literally can have Chinese food on Monday and Mexican food on Tuesday, Jamaican food on Wednesday. You go find a French restaurant on Thursday. Like, there are a lot of places that aren't like that, but we're like that. Anyways, let me move on. I just got into a whole rant about food. Mickey Latte says, she said something about, oh yeah, that's how I started my rant about being a mother. Let me move on to the next couple, Abby, Gabby, and Frankie. Although I should put a ghost in the picture where Frankie is, because that's literally what he did. He just ghosted. This story was super, super short, really, because it was just 2 meetings. Chris says, if it doesn't come in a cup, she don't want it. That's crazy. She probably grew up on, I mean, it's one thing to have Hot Pockets for like snacks, but she gives me the type of person that was raised on Hot Pockets. Like, that was dinner. No shade to people that like if financial burden happened and that's all they had. I'm talking about when parents make the choice to feed their children trash and not expose them to anything, even though they have access to it. Yeah, Tony Man says Frankie is MIA, and I doubt he'll show up for the reunion. I would be super surprised if what's the show host name? I don't know why I can't. I'm drawing a blank on the tell-all host name. Excuse me. But if she can talk him into appearing on the tell-all, I'd be surprised. So, anyways, first Abby has lunch with is it Robert or Roger? What was his name? Rodney. She has lunch with Rodney to discuss what happened, and basically, he asked her what happened after they left, and she says that Gabby pretty much went off on her and told her that she called her a liar, and she said she doesn't feel like she could ever trust her again. And then Rodney ends up telling her that he was surprised that that was even a plan because the whole time Frankie only talked about Abby, and even when they went ring shopping, he only bought a ring for Abby. He wasn't thinking about Gabby, so he didn't even know that that was going to be the plan to bring Gabby along eventually. Tony says hot pockets suck, taste nasty, and too damn hot. Mm. Chris says, I never thought Frankie would be the scammy one here. Yeah, I don't know whether he's being scammy or he's just being a punk. Because, like, you set this whole thing in motion by chilling with Abby more than Gabby. And then when it comes down to the wire, you punk out and go ghost. Like, I don't know. He's giving punk energy to me. I don't know what that's about. Later on, Abby goes out again and she meets with Gabby. There we go. Gabby asks Abby how she feels about Frankie in relation to how she feels about Gabby. And she says she feels equally. Now, this really, really upsets Gabby because she's like, how could you feel equally when you and I have been together for 10 years and you've only spent 5 consecutive days with him? So how could you have an equal amount of love for both of us? Like she wasn't feeling that at all. And I get her point. Gabby tells us in her talking heads that she doesn't see how Abby was. Oh, I said that part already. I'm about to repeat myself looking at my notes. But she says to us that she doesn't know whether she'll ever be able to forgive Abby. Because that is a big thing to break trust after 10 years. It's kind of a big deal. Tony says, do you even have an old pic of Frankie? The most I have is this one from his talking head. And I had one from the episode when he was video chatting them, but I deleted it because I didn't need it anymore. So I think this is the only picture I have of Frankie. Yeah, so that's all that happened with them. Let's get into Valentine and Carlos. They are still in Santa Marta, and they're at the beach with their almost hoochie daddy shorts. I said almost because I feel like they need to be maybe, I don't know. You guys let me know. Are these hoochie daddy shorts or are they not hoochie daddy shorts? Because I've seen shorter, but they still might qualify as hoochie daddy shorts. Anyways, they're in Santa Marta, and they are going on a little trip where they're in this. I love how this canoe is like clear. That must be really, really pretty, especially if there's fish in the water over where they're at. That must be really pretty. But it's funny because Carlos is telling Valentine that he's not paddling the boat enough. And Valentine was kind of low-key chilling and not paddling very hard. But as someone who is the same age as Valentine, I just want to let you know, Carlos, that when we're 46, some days we feel young and we got all the energy in the world. And other days we have a little bit less energy and we just want to chill. That's just part of being 46. I don't know. I don't know if that's what Valentine was doing, but I'm just saying for me, that's how I feel sometimes. There might be days I grab that paddle and we'd be doing it. And then other days I'll just be like, I'm just going to chill here and float in the boat. Cause that's just what being in your 40s is like. Tony Man says, yummy, I want a pair of those. You actually probably could wear hoochie daddy shorts. You have thick enough legs. I just don't want to see anybody with skinny legs wearing hoochie daddy shorts. Chris says Hoochie Daddy Shorts adjacent. And then I took a screenshot of this because I'm just still my my sense of humor is still 12 years old because there's there's two men on a boat and one of them is saying, no, do it deeper. And I know that Carlos is talking about telling Valentine how to paddle, but I couldn't help but think of the double entendre of no, do it deeper. Because, like I said, my sense of humor is 12 years old. Okay, so what happened after that? They continue to go out there, and it looks really, really beautiful where they're sitting at. And I happen to notice, look at how Valentine smiles at Carlos, and then also how Carlos looks at Valentine. And when you zoom it in, look at the eyes, the intensity. It's the intensity. If these two are actors and this is all made up, they are hella actors because I believe it. This comes off as very authentic to me. But they talk some more about both being pasivos and or finding a pasivo, because they're not pasivos, they're both activos. My bad. They're both activos, but they're discussing trying to find someone that will be pasivo. Well, on Valentine's part. On Carlos's part, he is hoping to convert Valentine into being more, there's a word for it. What is the word? Versatile. Carlos is trying to, well, in his mind, he's hoping that Valentine will become more versatile. Meanwhile, Valentine is like, nah, I'm good on that. Hopefully we can get a third party in here and they could be the pasivo for both of us. But as they discuss this, they also talk about how they feel like their relationship needs to be stronger before they bring in a third person because they don't want to throw anything out of whack. And I agree with that. And so they agree together to wait 3 years into the relationship and see either if one of them becomes a pasivo, or if that doesn't happen, then they can try to find a third party person that will be a pasivo. I also liked that they talked about outer course. They talked about how they are enjoying themselves without penetration, which I think is a topic that people don't talk about enough, especially in straight circles. I think that would prevent a lot of unwanted pregnancies if people talked more about outer course. Also, it's sad to me when I meet women or I know women that are married, that have had children, that are in committed relationships, and they say that they've never had an orgasm or climax, and it's like, that's really, really sad that you created a child and you didn't even have fun doing it. And I feel like more outer course would help people work out some of those kinks and also weed out people, because truth be told, if a dude can't make you feel something with his hands in his mouth, stay the hell away from his peen, because he can't do it with that either. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm just giving just a little bit of advice for anybody that's younger and needs to know. I'm just letting you know, if he cannot touch you in ways that are pleasurable to you with either his hands or his mouth, he's not going to be able to do it with his peen neither. So start there. Start with the outer course. Start with those type of things to see if the person is even interested in making you feel something. Skip over people that are not interested in making you feel as good as they want you to make them feel. That's my unsolicited advice. Do I have anything else about this? No, that's it. That's all I had. Wow. This one went kind of fast, but I did like they shared a beautiful moment. I tried to get a screen capture, but it was so fast. They kissed really, really, really quickly. But again, I think they have a great chemistry. And like I said, the looks, the smiles, like it's giving authentic to me. Like I said, if this is a fake made up storyline, if it comes out later that this is a make fade up storyline, some agents in Hollywood need to hire them because there's some good ass actors. Chris says, I need these two to make it. Yes, if I'm counting on anybody of the 90 days that I'm watching, it's these two. Chris says, you are too much. I couldn't help but say it because they talk so much. And it's rare. You never hear anyone talk about outer course. I think that some people don't know that exists. It's a thing that exists. But that's all I had about this one. Are you guys interested in 90 Day UK? Because I'm deciding which one I should do next. I was going to double up, but then I thought about how the different shows are at different stages. Like this one is probably mid-season. Paradise is mid-season. Regular 90 Day looks like they're wrapping up. I'm giving it probably two more episodes at most before the tell-all, and then UK is just starting. So I'm gonna have to do three separate shows. I'm just thinking of what order to do them in. I guess I should continue the same order that I've had, where I do 90 Day Love in Paradise on Monday, regular 90 Day on Tuesday, and what I'll do is I'll add a stream on Wednesday that's specifically for 90 Day UK. And we'll do like the first episode this Wednesday. That should be a lot of fun. Tony Man says, I'm still speechless about that stuff. Well, the question you should ask yourself, Tony Man, is have you ever made a girl feel good with just your hands? And then you'll know. Foamy Kilati says they do seem real. Yeah, they do. They seem authentic to me. This doesn't seem like it's faked. Like I feel like who do you guys think are the fakest couples on the 90 days this year? Because I'm thinking the top number one would be Jabri and Miona, because like obviously they've been married for 2 years, and I don't know what. I mean, I know that Jabri is probably hoping that people will go check out his music, but sometimes this type of promotion doesn't work that way. Like people who will watch 90 Day Fiance may not necessarily migrate over to listening to you do music. That's a very, very hard sell because it's two different audiences. The second most fake I would have to say is Bilal and Shida. Because like the thing with Bilal and Shida that I don't get is why, like I feel their storyline is fake, but I don't understand why they chose that particular storyline to fake. Like it doesn't make logical sense to fake a storyline that's that bad. Like nobody likes this. Oh, Tony Man says, I know I have, can't say more. Okay, well there you go. All right, let me start to wrap this up because I've run out of steam as far as what to say about this episode. It went by really, really fast. Let me do like this and then I'll bring back up my end screen. But you guys, I'm still waiting for the answers. I was asking you guys who's the fakest couple on both this, I mean, between this 90 Day and the other 90 Day. Who do you guys think are the fakest couples? Okay, Chris says Jabri and Miona for sure. A lot of the relationships are one-sided. I agree. I really, really feel the out of the people I feel the worst for, I feel the second worst for Guillermo because he doesn't even know the hell that he's in for. I feel the most worst, or yeah, I feel the most bad for Kobe because he's already stuck. You're stuck. You got two kids and you are stuck. You chose the wrong one. I'm sorry. Bill, all hands down. Are you saying Bill like dollar bills because he's constantly thinking about the money that he tries to portray himself as having? This dude really is running around talking about stuff like he's freaking Bill Gates or who's the dude that owns Virgin Atlantic? I forgot his name. But like those type of like moneyed people. And it's like, dude, you have a house and a car. That's just normal stuff. That's not. He's talking about generational wealth, and I'm like, you have a house and a car. I mean, it technically counts, but it technically counts as generational property, but that's not true. Like that's not true wealth just yet. Like you're stretching the definition of wealth. Like if you look up wealth, it's more than that. You're solidly middle class. You're not wealthy in any way. And it's okay to be middle class. There's nothing wrong being middle class. I think some people think there is something wrong being middle class, and so that's why they want to portray like they're above it. But stop with the flex culture because that's not good. I don't know if you guys have seen it before I sign off. There's been a lot of people getting robbed recently because of flex culture. So yeah, stop all that. When people are suffering and people are the economy is the way it is, not a good idea to flex what you have on Instagram because you're gonna get robbed. All right, with that, I'm out of here. I will see you tomorrow, same time, possibly earlier. If I feel like I'm going to have more than an hour's worth of content, I'll come on earlier. But if today I started at 4:15 because I figured I probably wouldn't be able to squeeze out more than 45 minutes of content out of that episode. So between 4 o'clock or 4:15, that's when you'll see me tomorrow. Same thing on Wednesday, but Wednesday we'll be talking about 90 Day UK. So until then, oh wait, Tonyman says night and Full Making Lights is a whole cast of the season 90 Day Fiance is bad. Yeah. I think the show to watch will probably be 90 Day Happily Ever After. That looks like it's got more fire in it than this 90 Day. All right, let me get out of here and I'll see you guys tomorrow. Thank you again, chat, for coming through. I really appreciate you guys. Oh, one more comment. Chris says middle class is a new poor for some. Yes, it is. It is. People really like. I think it even started with like the whole. See, I keep saying I'm get out of here, but I have to say this one thing. It even started with the phone snobbery. Have you ever noticed that? Like people be like, "Oh, you don't have an iPhone," and it's like, why do you care? Would you go? It's weird. It's like if you had a Mercedes and you just kept on going up to people with Hondas and going, "Why do you drive a Honda?" Because they freaking want to. Like it's just weird. It's very weird because they assume that certain class indicators are absolute, and that's not the truth. I'm telling you this as someone that grew up in different places in Connecticut, and some of the places I live in Connecticut were very wealthy, and you'd be surprised at how true wealthy people act, how they present. They don't care about fancy cars so much. They don't care about a statement bags because they have so much money that's nothing to them. They literally don't care about that. They will walk around with like, $40 sneakers and be a freaking billionaire and you would never know it. A lot of times they prefer it that way because then they'll see whether people interact with them on a more authentic level. They want people to like them for them and not what they have. So they typically are less likely to flaunt. Secondly, they don't want to be targeted because that was an issue too, especially around the wealthier schools. Like around, this is probably about 20 years ago. I think things have gotten a little bit better, but 20 years ago, it used to be a thing for Yale students to get robbed all the time. Like they were getting stuck up, mugged, all type of stuff just because they went to Yale. And not every Yale student is wealthy, but there was the assumption that they were. So there's that. So the grass is not always greener on the other side of the fence. Let me get out of here for real, for real. Chris says, thank you for the show. Thank you so much for coming through. And I'm going to get out of here now. Bye.